Okay, guys, I give you instruction in your corner. Let's have a clean match, okay? Good luck, God bless you. Le di las instrucciones en la esquina. Vamos a una pelea limpia. Aquí está bueno. Está muy alto. It's too high, okay? Shake hands.
So we are set to go with our first of 3 looks at the 140-pound division here tonight. The top 10 ranked Nestor Bravo, rated number 6 by the WBA, number 12 by the WBO. Taking on Xolisani and Ndongeni, who you see in the green trunks. And Ndongeni at one point was rated as high as number 4 by the WBA, but we pointed out the lineup of top contenders and prospects that he's been assigned against recently.
Here's what Ndongeni can do. He is a really good combination puncher, and when he gets that jab and that straight right hand going, he's a good fighter.
Yeah, when I was talking to him with Ndongeni and his trainer, they told me that they feel they cannot win a decision here in Puerto Rico. And I believe that's why he came out fast like that. He says if he's gonna win, it's gonna be by knockout. Well, and it seems like that's his attitude right now.
Definitely, and a lot of the talk with Ndongeni in our fighter meetings was about his fitness. He talked about those short notice bouts and how he felt he just didn't have the gas tank to do as well as he wanted to. But tonight, he said, I'm in the best shape of my career, and he has come out firing here in the opening round.
Yeah, you're right. He said he had 1 month notice compared to 1 to 2 weeks notice for the other fight. That's a big difference. So that's why, you know, he came out so aggressive. You can see the confidence in Ndongeni.
And interestingly, it was Bravo in his fight with Portilla. They came out and had him down in 15 seconds in that first fight with a big left hook. So this starts a lot different than that was.
Yeah, Bravo closing the show in the second round against Carlos Portillo last time out. That was in March of last year in San Juan, going back to the relative inactivity that Bravo has been plagued with for such a high-ranking contender. Bravo looking for that big sweeping left hook. Bravo has a very interesting style, Raul, and perhaps you can elaborate on this a little bit. It's not like he does everything conventionally, but everything that he throws is dangerous.
Yeah, he's a good power puncher. You know, he likes to tap and then, you know, pick up his punch power, you know, the way he punches. You see that nice solid jab. He said he wanted to keep the fight at short to mid distance. You know, he likes to mix it up, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to find his range right now. It's the first round, but you could tell he's approaching him, and he wants to get comfortable where he could throw his combinations.
Oh, missing over the top with that left hook, but follows up with a nice right hand to the body. An encouraging start nonetheless here for Ndongeni. The final 10 seconds tick away in the opening round. Good competitive start to this 140-pound matchup.
Ndongeni using the jab and throwing that overhand right. It didn't get there perfectly, but it's an indication of what he's capable of doing and what he's going to try and do. Keep Bravo at bay and land those 1-2 shots, but there's Bravo with a good counter punch from that.
Yeah, Ndongeni landed a good jab. He was trying to find the distance and try to land the overhand right, but it barely missed. He needs to get a bit closer to be able to land those shots.
Round 2 underway. Nestor Bravo and Xolisani and Ndongeni in the first of 3 140-pound bouts here on tonight's card. And Bravo was basically a part of a super training camp, if you will, alongside Alfredo Santiago and Subriel Matias, the 3 of them all training together in preparation for this one. You could not ask for a better collection of talent.
I bet there were some really interesting sparring lessons. I would love to see that.
You could tape those and just have them as a show.
Yeah.
Bravo has, we mentioned the left hook and to the
Shot to the body. And Ndongeni said that was a balance issue, but nonetheless, a shot landed. We'll get a closer look at that one on replay. But it is scored as a knockdown, so one in the bank for Nestor Bravo here in the second round.
The finish of that statement was going to be, he has a good left hook to the body, and I guess he demonstrated that.
Bravo keeps closing that distance, that gap. I would like to see him. Look at Ndongeni, yeah. Oh, there goes that body shot, that left hook to the body. I was saying I would love Nestor Bravo to start throwing more jabs. Put that jab out there more. He's just coming forward with one single jab. Or we need double, triple jabs, jab to the body. That way he'll get inside and work Ndongeni's body. Ndongeni's so mobile right now. He's got great legs. He's fast. He's catching him with some good shots at times.
One thing I have to say about Ndongeni, he was preaching a different level of motivation and a desperation coming into this fight. Even with the knockdown, just the way that Ndongeni is behaving in this fight, it feels like he was telling the truth.
So often we'll get fighters at fighting meetings say a thing and it doesn't turn out to be the case. But yes, that is absolutely the case with him. When you look back at video of him in big fights, he did take that approach. Even when he fought Haney, when he was an undefeated fighter, he was that way in that fight. He just was facing a fighter better than him.
Ndongeni just landed a nice 1-2 jab and overhand. Watch that overhand right. It keeps missing. He's trying to find the mark with that overhand right.
That one came from Florida.
Yeah, I think Ndongeni's attitude is like, you know, the never say die attitude. You know, this is it for him. If he don't win him, he's got so many opportunities. He knows he's got to win.
And Ndongeni told us he feels that he has just a couple of years left in the sport. We have just a couple of seconds remaining in the second round. And Ndongeni tasting the canvas, but still making things interesting here against Nestor Bravo.
Oh, a little bit of showboat by Ndongeni. Look at his confidence. Here we see Ndongeni, he misses with that overhand right, lands the left hook, and then, well, that was the knockdown. It seems like, I don't know, guys, it seems like it was a little push. Here we go. He was off balance, right? It looked like he was off balance.
He landed a left hook to the body,
I don't know if I saw anything in there.
Well, he landed a hook to the body, so I get, you know.
A little bit off balance, a little bit of a push.
Yeah, probably a little both.
Yeah.
Right, and I think the difference is that him being off balance wasn't caused by Bravo's feet. He was just off balance and got hit by a shot. That results in a knockdown.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yep.
Round 3 begins. Regional WBA title on the line in this one. A little bit of a ranking boost for the winner of this one. Perhaps a re-entry into the rankings for Xolisani and Ndongeni. And for Nestor Bravo, maybe another move upwards as he chases after some of the champions at 140.
And that last round, presumably a 10-8 round because of the knockdown for Bravo, even though it was a close round. So for Ndongeni, that certainly puts, puts him in a little bit more of a bind.
I still think Bravo needs to pick it up with the jab. He's still single punching, just one jab. He needs to jab to the body, give him some feints, jab in, have that frame defense, block those shots. But I think Bravo's fight is at mid to short distance. He doesn't need to be on the outside for it.
Claudia Trejo reporting here diligently, as she always does when she does shows, tells us that in the Bravo camp, they didn't feel like he got enough time to warm up, and that's why they feel it's a little tight in this fight so far.
Just landed another good left hook to the body. Ndongeni again, those balance issues are consistent with Ndongeni right now. Big overhand right there from Bravo. He has just missed with that shot a number of times. Just trying to punch with Ndongeni.
Wow, shots there by Bravo.
Well, both men are going to present those types of opportunities, Raul. Both of these men are prone to big, wide swinging shots. They love these big haymakers. They'll fall in every once in a while. And both men trying to capitalize like that.
Yeah, I think it's who throws more punches, you know, with those haymakers. Like you saw in Ndongeni, he throws, I feel like he's throwing 3 and 4 punch combinations. And Bravo's throwing like just 1 or 2 punches, so that's making the difference.
Well, and Ndongeni started out throwing combinations, and then he kind of stopped. Then it became a singular punch.
See, that's 1, 2, 3, comes right back. He's a little bit busier, I believe, than Bravo.
The work from Ndongeni isn't necessarily tidy, but he just landed a nice right hand, make it 2 of them.
And mixed in a left hook. And you know, Ndongeni is primarily a right-handed puncher, but when you look back at video of him, he can throw the left hook effectively.
Good work here from Ndongeni, who's exhibiting a level of confidence that we haven't seen from him in recent bouts.
And Bravo holding on, holding on.
Months after a thrilling back-and-forth scrap that left boxing fans eager for more, WBC interim lightweight world champion William Zepeda rematches former IBF super featherweight champion Tevin Farmer on March 29th in Cancun, Mexico. Available worldwide to all subscribers on DAZN, both live and on demand. So round 4 underway. Nice bounce back round from Xolisani and Ndongeni there in round 3. And back to our esteemed colleague, Claudia Trejos. Just found something out in the Ndongeni corner. We've been referencing the balance issues, guys. Apparently that is due to a new pair of shoes that he's wearing here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, that's a no-no. I mean, you don't wear brand new shoes to the fight. You break them in training, in sparring. I would use them for at least 2 weeks to be ready for those shoes.
I remember fights where this has happened, though, over the years, where fighters have done that, and it is a problem, which is not what you should do.
Both men trying to find a rhythm here.
For Bravo, I think the key is that hook. Because when he starts throwing it and gets it going to both the body and the head, that I think is many times Ndongeni has been open for that punch, and Chavez has been very close to, or Bravo has been very close to landing it.
I just don't think Bravo's busy enough. You know, if you see the exchanges, and Ndongeni is beating him to the punch.
I agree.
He wins the exchanges. There's that double jab, triple jab. He needs more of that to come in. You just can't come in with a single jab. And Ndongeni's gonna counter you with the jab and the overhand right over the top. And then he comes back with a left hook. He's just a busier fighter in there right now.
Big hook there from Ndongeni. That one might have buckled the knees of Nestor Bravo.
That's the missing, and that's the thing about Ndongeni. We know the jab, the right hand, but when he mixes in the hook, then it's a more varied attack that is tough to deal with.
Bravo looking for another one of those big swinging hooks, and indeed he can change this fight in an instant.
Oh, nice uppercut there by Ndongeni. Ndongeni landed those power shots, landed at will. 4 or 5 punch combinations. He's winning this round.
And the question, we discussed it earlier, having a little more time, Is 4 weeks going to be enough for him to carry the pace, this pace into the later rounds? We'll see. If it is, then it's going to be a problem for Nestor Bravo at this juncture.
He says no. Look, he's very confident, Corey. He's loose. He's loose. He's not tight. I feel like Bravo is tense in there. He's tight. Is it the Puerto Rican crowd fighting here in front of his people? Is it the movement? Is it? I think it's a little bit of everything. The movement. He is fighting a veteran in Ndongeni, making it tough for him.
Nice counter right hand there from Ndongeni, and Bravo certainly happy to have that knockdown in his back pocket, as the momentum, at least at the moment, seems to be in favor of Ndongeni.
Ndongeni going downstairs, and very unorthodox combination, but guess what? 2 of those punches got there.
He's busier.
Yeah, he's busier, as you point out. And Bravo, they're trying to get that left hook in, but there's the Ndongeni left hook that, again, a missing an additional piece to what we normally see from him.
Round 5 underway. Interesting contest here between Nestor Bravo and Xolisani and Ndongeni. And Ndongeni tasted the canvas in round 2, a little bit of a flash knockdown, a left hook to the body. Balance issues, perhaps caused by the brand new shoes that Ndongeni is wearing right now. And look at him go again, another right hand.
Again, Ndongeni getting the best of that exchange. Solid shots. Kind of rocked Bravo a little bit and put him off balance.
And, you know, we don't think of Ndongeni as a counterpuncher per se, but that's part of what is making this performance really good. He's countering Bravo as he lunges in.
Watching Ndongeni, he's trying to bait Bravo in with the jab. He's touching him with the jab, and then he pulls back and tries to land that big right hand, left hook, right hand. He's setting it up. He sees Bravo coming. Watch that jab. Take a step back, right hand, left hook, right hand. There he goes. Not exactly how, but
counter right hand there from Ndongeni as well. And again, going back to Ndongeni talking about his fitness being better, right now it's that busyness, it's the punch output that seems to be troubling Bravo.
There goes again, same combination. And he, you know, he does his work, Ndongeni, and he gets out of the way, he turns. He doesn't stay in the line of fire where Bravo could catch him, and that makes it even worse for Bravo to catch him because of Ndongeni's footwork. He keeps turning. He keeps turning.
Yeah, and I'm going to propose another thesis here, Al. Tell me if you agree with this, but I think that Bravo is used to kind of being the unorthodox one in matchups, where he can kind of overpower people with just sheer physicality. And now, his opponent here tonight is every bit as unorthodox as him and is in good shape and is landing left hooks like that.
I think that explanation is a fair one.
You see him though, Ndongeni put his hand, both hands behind his back, and did Roy Jones. Good defense by Ndongeni, making a miss too. He's giving Bravo a lot of problems now.
And Bravo rushing in all squared up, and that's part of the reason why the counter punching is doing well for Ndongeni. So it's a fascinating situation here.
Well, those are dangerous exchanges, though, and as well as Ndongeni is doing, when he's winging those haymakers, something can happen in those exchanges on either end.
Absolutely.
He misses with one over the top. Bravo comes back with a couple short shots on the inside. Good closing moments for Bravo in an otherwise good round for Ndongeni once again.
see Bravo catching him with a double jab. Right hand that came in, but Ndongeni again giving him those movements. Good defense. You see what I was talking about? He turns him, gives him a right, gives him a follow punch, put his hands behind his back. I thought he was going to do a Roe Jones. Remember Roe Jones doing that?
Yes.
His hands behind his back. I believe it was Dale Brown that he knocked out like that, if I remember right. I don't know. Maybe not. But I do remember him putting his hands back and letting the guy come in and then throwing a punch and he dropped him.
So back to action here. Nestor Bravo told Claudia Trejos that didn't have a lot of time to warm up for this one, but it's gonna have to start heating up because Xolisani and Ndongeni has found his rhythm and found his confidence.
Look at those body shots by Ndongeni.
Sorry, it was Glenn Kelly you were thinking of.
Glenn Kelly, yes.
You almost had my fellow Canadian cowboy
I know.
Dale Brown.
Dale Brown,
getting
yes.
knocked out.
You remember him, right?
Sorry, cowboy.
Yeah.
You know, as we head into these
Thank you.
final rounds, and Bravo's been 10 rounds twice, and Ndongeni's been 10 rounds 6 times, and 12 rounds 5 times. So not that he won all, you know, he lost some fights by the distance, but he's used to going that distance. Low blow, apparently.
Low blow, yes.
Well, tonight, perhaps actually prepared to go that distance at a pace that he wants to keep up.
Yes, precisely. Because he may have gone that distance before, but in a survival mode. And, you know, we're talking about this. We don't know how this fight's being scored, so that's another issue. But it certainly looks like Ndongeni is handling a lot of these rounds.
Well, Ndongeni talked about some of those fights that we've referenced against Arnold Barboza, against Ernesto Mercado, and his ability to see the openings, but not having the ability to capitalize on them, or not having the fitness level to capitalize on them. He doesn't want to eat too many more of those right hands, though. He's been cracked by 2 of them here by Nestor Bravo in the last 20 seconds.
And he's faced talented fighters. You mentioned Alan Chavez, 23-year-old Argentine, a potential future star in the 140-pound division. He went to Argentina to face him recently on short notice, lost the fight, so he's fighting very tough people.
Well, a warning of that sort was inevitable with this kind of style matchup. A lot of messiness in these exchanges, a lot of danger on both ends.
But if you watch, every time they exchange, it's Nestor Bravo that is doing the holding.
Yeah, and that's not what he wants to do. He needs to be on the inside working, obviously.
This right hand again. And Nestor Bravo nearly tumbling through the ropes. I still have Skylar Lacey PTSD, guys, so you're going to have to work with me on this one. I'd rather have a 140-pounder in my lap, though.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I remember that, yeah. Took me a while, but I'm quick. I got it. Yes.
Big-time boxing keeps growing in Australia. George Kambosos Jr. will be heavily favored in his hometown of Sydney as the Australian star will square off against Indonesia's Daud Yordan in a 10-round junior welterweight matchup March 22nd globally here on DAZN. Another verbal reminder there from referee Luis Pabon for Nestor Bravo and Xolisani and Ndongeni. Just trying to keep this one tidy. And the scorecards at this point could be very, very interesting. Nice right hand again there from Ndongeni.
Still the busier guy. Throws a combination. He ends it with the jab, double jab. He gets out of the way. He's well conditioned. I think the 1 month notice has helped him a lot more than the 2 weeks notice, from other fights.
Nice right hand again. And Al, when you watch fights like this and when you're analyzing them, you start to question, hey, am I just grading on a curve, so to speak? Am I giving Ndongeni credit for maybe being better than the public expected him to be? I think he's genuinely winning most of these rounds.
Yeah, that's the salient question. And the fact that you can ask it means you're capable, as we all hope we are, of taking a step back and really saying that. And I think you're right. I think a lot of these rounds, he is just plain winning them. And Nestor Bravo needs to change the narrative here as we head in the second half of this fight. And Ndongeni said the pressure is on Nestor Bravo to protect his top 10 ranking and his undefeated record.
Very slow, Bravo very slow with his footwork. He needs to get more on his toes to be able to cut that distance faster, because Ndongeni, he's there and then he moves. He's giving him a lot of movement. And it seems like Nestor Bravo's a little bit like stuck in sand. He's too flat-footed. He needs to get a little bit on his toes. And like I said, more double, triple jab to close that distance and be in balance to throw combinations. But he's not throwing combinations. He's throwing one jab, 1-2, single shots. You're not going to beat Ndongeni like that, right?
Yeah, the great Bill Clancy said, don't wait for receipts after you've last landed punches. And Ndongeni's not doing that. He's landing, moving, landing, moving. That's the way he's done it.
And given, you see the angle off of that. He angled off of that, get off the ropes.
Well, this has been one of the questions about Bravo, even in watching his ascent, is whether there is enough connective tissue ahead of that power and ahead of that physicality to make it work. And right now, even if Ndongeni isn't winning this fight or doesn't ultimately win the fight, he's really begging those same questions.
And just not to be critical, but Bravo has yet to face a top 10 140-pounder. And, Will Medeiros, for the best fighter he's faced, he wasn't this kind of mover.
Closing moments of round 7 as Ndongeni feeling himself as he heads back to the stool. So this one has turned out to be a very, very interesting one here between Ndongeni and Nestor Bravo. It's quite possible that that undefeated record of Bravo, 23-0, is in jeopardy right now.
And you have to look back at the early rounds. Some of these recent ones, I think there's no question Ndongeni is controlling them. The question is, some of those earlier rounds, did Bravo possibly do enough to steal them? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, plus the 10-8.
10-8 round helps him.
Right. Can you excavate enough rounds early on to give Bravo an opportunity to maybe pull it out here in the final 3 rounds?
Yeah, and we've got 3 left, so clearly he can do something.
Good shot there.
Yep.
And Ndongeni again with the uppercut, kind of rocked Bravo.
And let's not forget the point you made, Corey, early, that one punch with Bravo can change the fight. There's no question. And there's a big one.
That was the right hand that Bravo just missed with when Ndongeni caught him with that uppercut. Now Bravo finds the right range. But Ndongeni still smiling through that power of Bravo.
And that was a really good shot by Bravo, but he needs more activity. He's throwing bombs. He's going. I think Bravo's just going for it. He's looking for one single shot.
Well, and at this
I
point,
think he's a little bit desperate.
yeah.
It seems that.
I mean, he wants to make. He at least needs to hurt him so they can get on him and land more.
Well, that desperation, Raul, at least for Bravo, is forcing him to close the distance a little bit.
He is. He's closing the distance, but again, not throwing enough punches. Still a little bit too slow on his footwork. And Ndongeni still looks good. Still looks like he's in great shape.
There's no question, though, this is a better round for Bravo. Whether he's winning it or not remains to be seen, but at least he's landed some decent punches and made some things happen.
Ndongeni needs to watch Bravo's head, the way he comes in with his head. Try to avoid a headbutt.
And Ndongeni just taking a walk to the neutral corner, cruising around the perimeter here, moving and pot-shotting. There's a nice clubbing right hand from Bravo.
Now, was Ndongeni off balance, or was he stunned by that?
A little bit slippery over there, too.
Yeah.
I think that sponsor over there was a little bit slippery, and he slipped.
Hey, the Bravo right hand now is a factor in this fight, though. It really is. And there was another one.
Bravo turning up the heat here in round 8. He needed this round with 2 to go in our second contest of the night.
Well, here is Bravo coming in, and he's going to throw that straight right hand. The right hand is now, as I said, a factor in this fight. Bravo landed enough of them in that round, and there's the awkward way Bravo's attacking, but he's still getting some shots in. But the right hand, we'll see if he can keep landing it.
Round 9 underway. And we've got a mop in the ring as the action is going on. I don't know about the safety of that, but we'll just keep moving.
Yeah.
And a towel on the other side.
It did get
Watch your
slippery over
back
there.
foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
You don't want to twist an ankle, especially at this stage of I mean, it's the 9th round.
And Ndongeni has footwear issues as it stands.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need mops and towels in the ring also.
We'll exacerbate that. Well, we've seen some upsets on our Big Time Boxing USA series. So we saw Xolisani Ergashev in a big upset. That was on the undercard of Clarissa Shields' attempt when she won the heavyweight championship. And so upsets happen. We'll see if this is a repeat of that.
Both men having trouble with their footwork there, both acknowledging some kind of an issue in the center of the ring as well. And Ndongeni trying to fire that right hand down the middle. Nice keeping left hook there from Bravo.
That was like a little lunging left hook, kind of like a Joe Frazier left hook, right? You see the way he lunged. It landed.
And when Bravo is at his best, that's a shot that's landing with some regularity.
There's a crowd trying to motivate him now and then. I think he needs to go for both, Corey. I think he needs to bring it, stay real busy in this round, win this round, win the 10th round. Maybe.
Well, you figure, again, going back to trying to retroactively score this, and three of us are not actively scoring right now, but if Bravo can sweep the final 3 rounds, he has that 10-8 round in the bank. If you can find another round or two, maybe he escapes this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Again, it's tough because if he has gotten himself the kind of hole he might have, then it's going to be difficult. But he could also get another knockdown, of course, and make another 10-8 round. And he has landed some really powerful right hands, but Ndongeni has not really succumbed to them.
Well, and Ndongeni may wind up relying on the very thing he said he couldn't, the scorecards
that's right.
here in Puerto Rico.
Boy, Ndongeni is throwing that counter right hand, and Bravo's lunging in. If they meet together, Bravo's in trouble.
Good point there. I mean, he's begging for it. It's like, I want to taste your right hand.
Either a right hand or a clash of heads.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Well, Xolisani and Ndongeni said earlier this week that he's taken inspiration from Joseph Parker, another fighter who had taken losses to high-profile fighters to then write a totally different chapter in his career in his mid-30s. And now, Xolisani and Ndongeni may be on the brink of the biggest win of his career.
And a reminder that they've both been this distance before, but Ndongeni has been it much more and has been beyond to 12 rounds. So who will have more in the tank here in this final round? Oh, wow. Nice right hand by Ndongeni.
Yeah, and Ndongeni did say he came here to spoil the project, and he's done a lot of spoiling here tonight. Still got to get the win.
Sometimes in fights, Ndongeni has been a wide puncher. Not tonight. His punches have been real, except for some of those overhand rights. But for the most part, his punches have been straight. He's mixed in the left hook, which he doesn't always do. And, you know, it's been a pretty solid effort from him at this juncture, no matter what happens in this fight.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Al. I think this is the best performance from Ndongeni in several years, as he lands another good right hand a moment ago.
And it goes back to styles make fights, you know.
Yeah.
Bravo is made for Ndongeni, the way he comes in, the way he swings wide, the way he doesn't throw enough punches. And even Ndongeni, at his worst, when he's throwing the overhand right, he's landed it a couple of times. So when he straightens them out and he's short with his shots, he's a lot more successful too.
Time ticking away in this one, as Nestor Bravo is perhaps on the brink of losing that zero.
Yeah, the other thing that we haven't harped on, but it's true, Bravo has not done a great job of cutting this ring off. And that is a key factor in what's going on here tonight.
Inside the final minute of this contest. And one thing you can certainly say is that Ndongeni has taken the crowd out of this one. There is a nervous hush in the audience here in Fajardo.
You just saw Bravo kind of confused, looking around. What's going on? Am I going to lose?
At this
fear of losing.
At this juncture, Nestor Bravo needs to crank up right hands, because that's what he's been landing when he does throw a crowd punch, and try to land one here in these final seconds.
Another entanglement there in the center of the ring. With 15 seconds remaining in this one. As Xolisani and Ndongeni spoiled the Puerto Rican party for Nestor Bravo. He certainly thinks so. We'll see what the judges have to say in just a few moments. Going going back to what you said earlier on, Al, a lot of fighters make promises and make declarations about changes they're going to make, about their fitness level, about their level of motivation, and it doesn't always play out in the ring. Win or lose, Xolisani and Ndongeni look better than he has in quite some time here tonight.
Absolutely, there's no question about that. However this decision ends up going, he was sharper, he kept going to the end. It wasn't as if there was any dip in his level of performance.
Well, middleweight contender Austin "Ammo" Williams is set to return to the ring on March 15th to face Canadian Patrice Volney at the Caribe Royale in Orlando, Florida, all part of DAZN's 185+ fight nights a year. That's included in your DAZN subscription. Nervous energy here in Fajardo.
You can feel it in the building a lot, and you know, this is a tense time for Bravo. Two organizations with a top 10 ranking and undefeated record. Quite a bit on the line for him right now at age 31.
And Ndongeni has the look of a man convinced that he has this one in the bag. The same cannot be said about the Bravo corner right now. We await the decision here. Nestor Bravo had been out of action since March of last year when he scored that knockout win we talked about over Carlos Portillo, but again, told Claudia Trejos that he felt a little cold early in this fight, maybe a little bit of ring rust, maybe not loving the traction in the ring. A lot of things not working for Bravo here tonight.
Hey, and it's taking a little bit, you know what that means when it takes a while for them to get the scorecards right. You know, it's a lot of suspense, drum roll, like, who won? I want to know.
And Ndongeni, who trains fighters, is in the gym every day, working with them, gives him energy, so that it keeps him on top of the sport. He made that point about fighting for 2 more years. This would kickstart his career if he gets a win here. And you know, both these men, great guys to be around. Nestor Bravo's a joyful warrior, and Ndongeni is somebody who's given the sport so much, even though he hasn't always got as much back as he would like.
A sign of respect from Ndongeni and Bravo as we await the decision, which is now in the hands of Mr. Throwdown. Let's send it up to the center of the ring.
Un aplauso por los dos boxeadores. Round of applause for both of the boxers in the center of the ring. After 10 rounds of championship boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Luis Ruiz scores the bout 95-94 for Xolisani and Ndongeni. Judge Jose Silva scores the bout 97-92 for Nestor Bravo. And Judge Jose R. Torres scores the bout 98-92 for your winner by split decision and new WBA super lightweight champion, Xolisani Nomera the Wasp Ndongeni.
So a shocker here in Fajardo. Xolisani and Ndongeni holds the upset. And boy, when you heard 97-92 Bravo, and then you heard 98-92, I thought this was going a different direction, Al Bernstein.
Yeah, I think we all thought that. But at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say they got it right. This man